Oh, hi. How are you? Sorry, I was just making some notes for our meeting. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Okay. So, we're obviously here to talk about your New Year's resolutions. I'm here to kind of give you some evidence-based information about how to make sure that we achieve those this year, because I think that's very important to your growth and development, okay? So, we do have several things to start going over. So, I have your New Year's resolutions from last year in my paperwork here. And I just wanted to kind of recap those to make sure that the resolutions themselves are achievable, because sometimes we can get really bogged down in the whole idealistic stage of setting targets without kind of having an achievable goal. So, not that I'm saying any of your achievements this year weren't achievable. I think they were. I think from what I'm looking at, they were very successful. Okay, so let's keep that track record going. Okay, so do you remember your main one? Yeah, and that was the first one that I had written down. So that was achieved kind of like later on in the year, but I think it was one of those goals that did kind of require that extra time to kind of achieve, to put into play. So I think that's really good that we've accomplished that. And I think those kinds of goals, those longer term, 12-month goals, are definitely something that's achievable for us. And I think takes kind of the pressure off of you to get those into play, because I know there is such a stigma about kind of your resolutions have to be completed the first 3 months of the year. Like, that's just not realistic. You have to kind of have spring, summer, winter, autumn goals. I think seasonal goals would be actually a very cute idea, and we could totally go with that if that's something that you're interested in. So that first one, I've just written down that we achieved that by October. I'm just going to pick this up. Okay. There we go. Okay. So the next one I have written down. Yeah. And do you feel like that was properly achieved? Okay. Area for development. I'll write it down. I do feel like the importance of this kind of meeting is to make sure that those targets are achievable, that they're realistic, and that we make sure that we put specific steps in place to implement those, because there's nothing worse than kind of having this grand idea and then not understanding how to execute it, and I'm here to help you execute it, so let's not worry about that. So area for development, and we need to set specific goals to get this completed. Okay, it's not a problem. I'm on with specifics, so don't you stress about that. I've got that all sorted. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Oh yeah, I've been looking as well at that TikTok trend about the 12 grapes. I don't know whether that comes directly from Modern Family or whether that's an actual Colombian tradition, but I have got some grapes. I have got some grapes for you if you'd like to participate in that this year, because I think that's actually kind of interesting, and I think, especially for you, that kind of multicultural approach to wishing and target setting, and I know you love a bit of superstition, so I will quickly make note of that. Yes, kitchen has them prepared. We have red, we have black, we have green, obviously all seedless. It's too much hassle to be eating with the seeds. I'm sorry, but it is. Okay, so we've got the grapes. Yeah. Okay. Another target that we had set. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you thought that one was realistic. I don't know what else to say. I mean, go no contact with my toxic ex. Don't know about that one. We can try again this year, though. We can try again. You need to stop getting attached. You know, see it for what it is. Babe, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just looking out for you. Okay. So... Sorry, just annotating these so that we can have a really specific set for this year. Okay, so we are going to use the SMART method to get these down. So that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based, okay? So specific being that you have specific steps to succeed in these things. Measurable, how do you actually know that you've achieved that goal when you've achieved it? Achievable, is the goal even achievable? Toxic ex, I mean, I've discussed with your healing coach. Enough said, I think. Sorry, what was that? No, nothing. Relevant, is it relevant to your professional development, your personal development, your well-being, that kind of thing? So I will make sure that we have a well-being one, because you're too hard on yourself. You're far too hard on yourself. It's not okay. And time-based, kind of setting a time to have it completed by, in addition to those specific breakdowns of targets, really actually helps you achieve those things. So let me just, yeah. Okay, so we've got 3 areas for development here. We've got well-being, you need that. I'm sorry, you need that. Money / savings. And I know we've got that investment portfolio, but I really think that, not that it's necessarily my place to say, I'm not your property manager, but those savings I think will definitely advance you, especially with the economy as of late. So I've made sure that I've spoken to the financial advisor regarding those things. He has suggested a series of steps that we can follow, so that fits into those specific targets. And then career, we're talking professional development. I think networking would really benefit you this year. And I know we did so much of it last year. Like, God, the office parties, they never ended. And I loved being there for you throughout all of those parties. I love getting you ready, but I think we should really take into account what's networking and what's a party. Because they're different. I know you know that, and I know you like a party, so don't worry. Okay. So, which one would you like to start with? Okay, fabulous. Right. We'll just start with career, because I feel like that's the biggest one for you. Obviously, young professional, fabulous. I feel like you're at your peak as a young professional. Obviously, the experience speaks for itself, but young professionals just have it so good. Okay, so the professional development involved. Okay, so obviously with your given field of work, we do need to consider your allies within the business. Now, I will say, that woman from financing, she's not your ally. Let's not trust her, okay? So, identify allies. I don't want to call them foes because I feel like that's overly rude and doesn't necessarily hold up in an HR meeting. So, identify allies. Let's not say foes. Barriers to success. That's much more HR friendly, okay. So we'll identify some allies. We will also, that leads into networking, because we need to network with our allies more than we need to network with our barriers to successes. Obviously, barriers to successes do not want to see us succeed, so networking is a priority, okay? We also need to consider professional training. I know there's a couple of areas where we need refreshers. Old policies, new policies, they're implementing those all the time now. And I will make sure that we have a progress plan for those, so that they're in a timely manner. So don't worry about that, you leave that up to me. But does that sound okay with you? Awesome. Okay. Training. And just to kind of wrap that one up. So we've got the identifying allies and the barriers to success, networking with said allies, professional training, new policies. Let's think. We could get you involved in that new project. Oh my goodness, please. Now, I feel like that new project has everything that you're looking for development-wise, so I think, like, add that to portfolio. Don't you worry, though. I will pull some strings. We'll send a couple of gift baskets, a bit of bribery. I'm thinking maybe a couple more hours of overtime, but, like, just to kind of, for the sake of looking busy. They don't need to know we're not actually working. Also, I'm working behind the scenes, so, like, for you, you can go to work, but when you come home, I've covered everything. The bath is run. The dishes are done. Like, don't ever stress about the home stuff. You focus on your career. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here for you, okay? So that new project fulfills those professional development opportunities. Let me just think how we're going to achieve that. So we want the gift baskets, obviously. You know for a fact that your boss can't resist any flattery. So, gift baskets it is. Secret admirer might be a bit too far, especially if he figures out who sent it. That'll be awkward to explain to HR. Anyways, what else? I'm thinking possibly volunteering ideas, so that we can kind of get head starts of volunteering some ideas. Not like super specific and nothing that you've specifically come up with, because that's your intellectual property. Sick of companies now just taking your ideas and using them and never giving you the credit. Dolly Parton said it first, but you know what I mean, okay. We'll rehash those in a second, okay. Now, let's talk about money. Okay, I spoke to your financial advisor. The budget was semi-adhered to this year. Okay, let me just note that. No, but there was a couple of mental health days where, maybe we spent a little bit more than we meant to. That lunch was delicious, but it was expensive, okay? No, and I would totally go again if you asked me. I would totally go again. Okay, so we need to figure out your actual savings goals, okay? I know the properties that you currently have are bringing in some investment. Obviously, a nice steady amount. We like the steady, we like consistent. We're not raising any of the rents on those properties this year because with your public appearance, I've spoken to Kelly at PR. With your public appearance, it would really cement us as a pillar of the community to every time I say us, by the way, I mean you, but also your team. I head this team. I'm the one that's wiring the clock up, but you put the work in the public eye. So in the public eye, we want to make sure that you're seen as that pillar of community. Therefore, the rent that we're charging on those properties is affordable. The tenants are really well looked after, and from the survey that I sent out to those tenants, they're really satisfied. I think, property 5 in the refurbished warehouse, they were saying that the privacy isn't so good with them being on a lower floor, so I have arranged to buy the property on the 4th floor and basically transfer them. No new lease, but they will have to pay for their own movers. Does that sound good to you? Okay, fabulous. Right, I got off track there, but I apologise. Savings goals, okay, so we want more disposable income. I have done an efficiency report on the property manager, okay. They do have a team that they pay themselves. I'm slightly concerned about the efficiency of particular people. Yeah, the property manager themselves, I'm concerned that they're not actually doing enough to appease tenants. So I think maybe we should rehire in January. What do you think? I know it's slightly rude, but you know what? We give her a 6 months grace period, 40% severance, hiring new property manager. I have to say the custodian, the kind of like handyman that we have. What's his name again? Philip, of course. Philip is a star. Every time I've seen him when I've been in the property, he offers me a chocolate, like one of those little hotel chocolates. Where does he find those? Do you think you could buy them wholesale on Amazon? I'll look into that. Okay. And another savings goal that we need is those holidays. No, I am in conversation with the rep, but I want to make sure that we have like somewhat of an itinerary before I pitch it to you. Where specifically did you want to go this year? Okay. Yeah. Any particular part of Europe? You're a boss. Just in case you weren't aware, you're a boss. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely arrange that. What kind of holiday is it going to be? Are we thinking villa? Are we thinking beach? Are we thinking historical? I love a historical one. Yeah, we went to Rome one year. You wouldn't believe it. Oh, okay. Villa with culture. Okay. So I'm thinking for that we would need to hire a driver. Obviously rent the car. And then also source the villa and staff. I have some friends over at a property management company in Europe who actually have their own team of staff that they kind of send out for the duration of your stay. So speaking of, how long are we planning on staying there? Okay. Well, I wouldn't want you to get out of rhythm with your schedule. Sometimes when you're on holiday for too long, I feel like you lose all sense of time and routine, and I know how important your routine is to you. So, and the other holiday. No way. Okay. That one's definitely a savings goal for sure, because that's expensive. And what are we going there for? Nature retreat. Oh, I love you. Okay. I'll leave that larger one there for now because I do need to go over that with a financial advisor, so don't worry about that. Okay. That last bit fed into well-being so well, okay? So we're talking nature retreat, but what else are we doing throughout the year to ensure that your well-being is up? Okay, so I know you've been dealing with burnout the past few months. The burnout definitely can be managed with a routine and some specific goals, okay? I do want to let you know that your wellbeing advisor is solely your wellbeing advisor now. So I am going to have monthly check-ins with this advisor. They are going to speak to you semi-regularly, but I want to make sure that you are where I'm going to speak to them so that you're not constantly thinking about, like, how are you doing? I want you to kind of just get on with the important things that you need to get on with. So leave that to me, babe. I've got it, okay? So when I spoke to the wellbeing advisor regarding a couple of goals that we set from last year, let me just check. Yeah. So when I spoke to the wellbeing advisor about the goals that we set last year, they advised that we continue with that plan. But I do need to CC in the dietitian. I will speak to the dietitian, however, because I know that you mentioned wanting to kind of bulk up's not the right word because we're just toning what we have, but build a little bit of muscle to keep you looking toned, especially for the run up to summer. So we've got the dietitian in for a more high protein diet, like low sugar, high protein. I mean, I think you're great as is, so I wouldn't worry about changing yourself. I think if you're having those kinds of difficult feelings, we can definitely arrange for you to speak to someone semi-regularly. Totally confidential. I have some good names in the roster, to be perfectly honest. And again, I can make sure that you're the only one. NDA is already written. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that professional focuses on the kind of treatment that's more suited to you, because I know you've been to some other people before. Those treatments just don't work. They just don't work for you. And why are we spending the money if it's not going to be effectively? Okay, so Thank God it's only me that reads these notes because my handwriting's atrocious. You would think I'm writing with the wrong hand. Oh, okay. And I will also consult them about that burnout because I want to know specifically what we can do to kind of get you to a point where you're not burnt out. No, I read research a couple months ago that said that it takes a long time, like a long time, to recover from burnout. And as easy as that is considering your 10-year plan, I worry about how you're doing based on the burnout. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and reduce that wherever possible, take the mental load off, so that you can focus on the things that you actually need to focus on. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is to take the mental load off. You know, you make a couple of decisions, I do the work for this. You do the work in the public sphere, and I am running the show. I am the stage manager here. And best believe it is the best job I've ever had. So, you're not putting me through anything uncomfortable. I love planning, okay? You're fine. Right. What do you think about the gym? Okay. Right. So we're going to take out, I think we should take out the bike. And I'm making sure that we have every other month a spa day. Yeah, no, what I've got down is a cleansing facial, and then we can obviously change that every month depending on what your skin's needing. But I'm going to make sure it's the same time around every month for that. Well, you know how bad skin can get during that time, so we're making sure that it's actually during a different phase of the cycle. But then, oh my goodness, I saw this thing. Have you heard about those Korean scrubbing mitts that like just slough off the dead skin? Yeah? Okay, so the spa, that one further out is, they're offering that. So I'm going to make sure that that is like a constant every month that you go, even if the offer ends, we're getting it. Yeah. Okay, Korean mitt. I don't know what it's specifically called. I've just seen loads of videos. You know, and I'm like, I was on the phone. My thumb works so hard every day. Okay. Facial Korean mitt. And I'm thinking possibly like, I know they have sauna facilities there, and the pool. What else? Anything else you want to add to the list? Yeah, so I've got the... Did we put yoga down? Yeah, I mean, the wellbeing advisor kind of runs that already. They're trained. Oh, they're trained in everything nowadays. Okay, the wellbeing advisor like covers the spiritual, physical, mental appointments. Oh, we want a spiritual one. Okay. What are you thinking? Tarot. We could do tea leaves. I don't enjoy that one as much because they get in my mouth. Crystal ball seems a bit... Palm reading? I like the idea of palm reading. I don't think you've ever tried that one before. No, you haven't. Yeah. Wow. Well, I will look into that for you. Palm reading. Oh. And we can kind of try that as long as you feel it's effective, because genuinely there is nothing worse than spending money on something and then thinking, I feel no more spiritual clarity than before. So yeah, we could do the palm reading, or we could go the really conventional route and see the church. It depends how you feel. We can go for conventional religion. I could have But I could have like a priest on call. A priest on call? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, what else do we have to add? I'm going to start off with the career resolutions, because I feel like they are the most relevant to your professional development in the minute. So, I've written down here, get involved in the new project. Okay, we're going to do this by volunteering enthusiastic ideas. Like I said, those are your intellectual property for those ideas, but if they're enthusiastic, you may be put forward for it, so I think that would be good. And then I will pull some strings, okay? I'll just make a note. Okay. And, okay. Implement training policies. Monthly schedule. Fabulous. Right. Third one. Network with allies. Saving goals. We need new property manager. To increase tenant. Yeah, to increase the tenant satisfaction. Okay. And then we want number 5 is holiday planning. Okay. I know that it looks like a long list, but we did hit 3 sections, go really in depth. So, so I'm going to speak to that professional about getting you maybe a consultation to kind of discuss any issues that are going on. Yeah. And I know that things are going well at the minute, but I feel like those coping strategies may need a revisit. And I'll do some really deep dive research on the actual therapist's effectiveness. I'm checking their license. Okay. And then the new wellbeing advisor. To manage those appointments. And then we want the spa days. I'm leaving that to the wellbeing manager. And last but very much not least, spiritual development. Okay. Are you excited for the new year? Yeah? I'm so glad. I mean, I know that I'm new, but I'm really excited to go into the new year with you. My favourite employer ever. Okay. We've got 9. I mean, I'm going to write these up way better and like set it out, at least for the first 3 months, and then we'll rewind. Is there anything you want to add before I let you go? No? Okay. Right, I'll see you in a couple of hours. Is there anything else you need from me before I go? No? Okay. Thank you for having this meeting. I know you're incredibly busy today. Yeah, I'm very glad to go into the new year with you.